Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a best of one. It is a ladder game and it is between a Terran and a Protoss, and I've done quite a few TVPs actually recently and it's just purely by chance. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, and any girls in the chat, any dogs, cats, I don't know who really watches, maybe there's some kind of sentient AI around, but anyway, whoever is watching, the reason my replays I haven't had as much time as I normally would in order to basically hunt around for some really good replays, so I've had to go for really kind of the first things I find, and that's all due to the fact that I'm casting WCS EU Challenger League, which you should all tune into. If you don't, it's really been fantastic. Some great players, MC Grubby, Bling, Crass, who else have we got? Tails, MMA's in there as well after getting knocked down. We've got Liquid Wrecked. There's tons of people, I can't even name them all, there's just so many going on, and it's really awesome. 40 fantastic people, so you should most certainly check it out. Now, as we can see here, we should probably introduce the two players. So spawning up in the top left position, we've got the blue Protoss. It is Temnotal. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right, the red Terran player from CM Storm, it's Polt. And Polt is getting an early gas, so he is going to be going most likely for either a little bit of Reaper aggression, or he potentially could be getting down that factory relatively soon. The gas was after the barracks has started, so it's more likely to be some Reaper play as opposed to going for that really quick factory. If you get the gas before the racks, if I'm not mistaken, you can get down the factory as soon as the racks finishes, which is really nice. It's some good timings. We've got the gateway and also the assimilator coming down here for Temnotal, which is just safe, nothing too crazy going on, just going to be going along. The big thing we need to keep an eye out for is whether the second gas does get thrown out or not. We see that Temnotal, he's coming in, he's getting the scout, going to see the gas. This is a really important scout for him. He can also take a look at how much has been mined, and also to get a really good read of, okay, was that gas down before the barracks started, those sort of things. But here comes the Reaper now. Polt, he's just going to come over and be a little bit of a pain. The Cyber Core on its way. Getting a Stalker out is really the best way to deal with Reaper aggression, because Stalkers are really effective against them. Zealots can get kited forever, which is really frustrating, but that shouldn't matter too much in this game. For the moment, Temnotal, he's not committing too much else. We can see the Polt coming over with his SCV. Meanwhile, what is... Ooh, probe? Probe, okay. Hidden probes down like this. These can always be exciting, because you never quite know what's going on. Meanwhile, Polt, he's getting on a reactor onto this barracks, so fairly normal. He also pulled one SCV out of gas, going to just two. The SCV that is in Temnotal's base is just taking a poke around. Sees there's no second gas, meaning that obviously an expansion should be coming down fairly soon. There is Polt starting up his own expansion there. The SCV for Polt could potentially go for an engineering bay block, depending on how frustrating he wants to be. The probe on its way down. Will the Reaper notice? No, it will not. That means that this will go down unobstructed, which is less than ideal for Polt. He would have wanted to try and delay that. If he was able to knock out that probe before it placed the Nexus, that would have been really nice for him. The Stalker is also down on the field, so this Reaper has to be really cautious, already being forced to fall back. This probe still just sitting around here. Mr. SCV, are you going to come and find this probe? Yeah, you are. This is good. Okay. Sneaky probes always need to be found, because sneaky probes will do sneaky things and kill you. Second assimilator on its way down here now for Temnotal. Polt, he's getting +1 infantry weapons fairly early on, so he wants to be going for that upgrade heavy style, which is really effective. You can get some nice timing pushes out, of course, with +1 with stim, with 2 medevacs, 3, 4 medevacs. Really nice times to move out across the map. Of course, dropping on Accolon Waste is also really an effective thing to do, because there's lots of dead space around the main and also around the third. There's these little cliff ledges which are off to the side. Unless you put pylons right to the edge of your base, you're not going to see medevacs come in there and drop down. The observers are also going to become really critical going into the later stages. You've got 2 additional gateways adding on here as well for Temnotal, so as a 1 gate expand into some 3 gates. He'll probably track down a robotics facility shortly as well, or potentially he could get something like a Stargate. It depends what he wants to do, but I would imagine that it will be the robo. It's the much more common thing to occur, unless he's going for, the other thing is some early high Templar play, but again, that is less common than just going into the robotics facility, because that means you can get out the observer, you can tech up into Colossi quite happily and be in a relatively safe spot and hold off most early aggression. So Polt, he's just happily calling down the mules. He's adding on his tech lab, just starting stim up there. There's the robotics facility, just as expected from the Protoss player. Nothing too scary, nothing too out of the ordinary here. So this is where we get into sort of stage of the game where things are a bit more passive, at least for the near future. The Reaper will keep coming in, trying to be a little bit of a pain, trying to just force Temnotal to pay a bit more attention to his mineral lines. And if he loses a probe to a single Reaper, that is less than perfect, and Now, yeah, that is one probe go down, but a nice little trap there with the remaining probes and the Stalkers, meaning that Reaper harass is all but over. There's 10 Marines just sitting out the front here of Polt's base. The proxy pylon has been placed down to the side. We do have some more sentries warping in. The robotics facility is nearly completed, but the big thing for Polt is he has got +1 nearly done. Stim is a quarter done. This is a super early upgrade, like ridiculously early, getting that done quite so soon, and means that any push in is going to be a little bit more difficult for Temnotal to try and work with, but I doubt that he's going to be moving across anytime soon because he's only got a handful of gateway units. He won't want to risk that. +1 infantry armor on its way. It will be done a little bit after Stim is finished, but the factory is nearly complete. The first medevac's out, so this could be a 1-1 timing push. Now, these Marines, where are you off to, Marines? Are you going to move across already? Just a Marine push would be really good, and, well, it's still a good 60 seconds away from completion of Stim, a whole in-game minute, but it's applying a little bit of pressure. No combat shield on these Marines is another thing that's very much worth noting. The starport just on its way. A couple of Marauders being added into this composition. And if we look at what's here to defend for Temnotal, there's really not that much. He does have Photon Overcharge available on that Mothership core, but not enough for a Photon Overcharge and a Time Warp, which could make it harder. There is the Observer there. That's going to get taken down, though, with a good little scan. 3 force fields already being utilised. That means one of those sentries is all out of energy, but it's buying some more time for Temnotal. But Polt, he's managing to waste these force fields for very, very little, giving him a chance to get Stim out, which is only 10 seconds away from completion now, and that is going to make this push so much stronger. There's no medevacs with this composition yet, though. The switch just coming off, as you can see, between that starport and factory for the reactor. Blink is getting research now from Temnotal. One of these gateway units getting pulled back, the first 2 medevacs on their way. All Polt's doing is just really pressuring his opponent psychologically at the moment, knowing that he can move in whenever he wants. Stim is finished. +1 infantry armor is not yet done, but there is the Stim forward. He's going to go straight forward, start cutting this out. The Immortal pops just in time to deal some nice damage to that Marauder, but the sentries all get taken out. A nice little snipe off there. Most of the Zealots are also killed at the same time. There's some reinforcements ready to go in, but the Observer will get taken out because it flies straight into the path of that missile tide. The Robotics Bay coming down here for Temnotal. He's taking up into Colossi, but he's got so few gateway units at the moment. Polt, he's about to have those medevacs out, +1 infantry armor is about to finish as well. That's going to be 1-1 upgrades up against 0-0. No upgrades against 1-1. This really favours Polt, especially with Stim, especially with those medevacs. It's a nice timing window anyway. Going to get in there at around the 11-minute mark by this time this moves over. And at the same time, we see that the 3rd command center is being chucked down here by Polt. So he's taking up behind this. He's using the aggression as he moves across the map in order to secure the map dominance and feel confident in taking that 3rd quite early on. Meanwhile, though, Temnotal, he's taking out the rock, but needs to be cautious because if these move up now, this could be really bad. The Immortal is completely exposed. Is going to get sniped off. That is not the sort of unit you want to lose for absolutely nothing. Photon Overcharge was triggered again. Polt, I think, would be wise waiting. You don't want to push in with a Nexus Cannon with just a handful of infantry units, but that 1-1 upgrade really, really helping him. +1 Protoss ground weapons has just completed, though. Blink is about to kick in as well. So Temnotal is starting to catch up in the different upgrades, and he's just got to be a bit cautious. Combat Shield is half done. That will be coming in soon. Concussive Shell also getting researched. So Polt, he's just applying the pressure so diligently. We've also got a fairly similar work count, 54 to 57. That clearly favours Polt, especially once he gets that 3rd orbital command done. The Marines and Marauders pushing up again. The Photon Overcharge should be about to run out. It's getting fairly close, but these Stalkers, they are feeling very brave with the support of the Colossus back behind, and that will force Polt back to the reinforcements, but the Colossus does not have extended thermal lance yet. Will get sniped off. Nice little hit there from Polt, and now Temnotal is in a massive amount of problems. His Mothership core does not have anywhere near enough energy for a Photon Overcharge, and there is the GG. Losing that Colossus was just too much. So nice play there by Polt, applying constant pressure throughout that game. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a fun game to watch. So yeah, make sure you leave a cool comment, like the video, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I'll see you all tomorrow for yet another pro level StarCraft 2 cast. I'm Madals. Bye for now.